Good morning, folks. We are back with another YouTube recorded series that's now going to be starting, which is Farming Simulator 22. Now, yes, 25 is out, but there's so many features I still enjoy about 22. There's actually so many things I still have never done in 22. And I really kind of want to set myself a goal of just owning one entire map, just start to finish owning absolutely everything. That is really the goal for this YouTube series. Now, how I go about doing that and then what it ends up looking like is going to be a question for you guys. So, I've already set myself a goal that I'm going to be owning the entire map, point blank period. But would you rather I focus more on things like just general field work, like the grains and even, like the grapes and things like that, and just keeping everything, I would say, raw? Or do we focus on productions? So turning that grain into the likes of flour, turning the flour then into the likes of cake, that type of stuff. Do we go down the production side of things, or do we focus on animals? So do we make it so that, the only fields that I kind of run are just to feed and give bedding to said animals, but the animals and then maybe their processes is where we really make our big buckaroonies? So you have three options. Let me know in the comments kind of how we're going to go about it. I think for today, for now, just for this first episode, we are going to keep things nice and easy and simple. Going to start a new career. We're going to be a new farmer. We're already going to have a little bit of land. We're already going to have some equipment, and things are kind of set, to easy and whatnot. And we're just going to go for the boring old Elm Creek. I have never owned this whole entire map. I usually fuck it up somehow or get distracted in terms of not really being able to make a proper decision on where I want the farm to go. So really today, I just want to be focusing on not doing bare minimum per se, but just refamiliarizing myself with the map. I'll maybe do some contracts. Obviously, I think we start with 3 fields or 2 fields. I think it's 3. Yeah, it's 3. And, kind of just working on them processes and really then trying to figure out from there where it is that I would like to go. There is a chance that, maybe today or, whatever, what I'll do is I'll load in and stuff, because I am using quite a lot of mods. I'll play with some settings, and then we'll take care of our 3 fields, kind of be taking over things like that. There is usually like a building or 2 that I usually sell straight away just for a little bit more space and a little bit more room. And then maybe I'll upgrade, some vehicles or something like that, and basically just tick over while discussing possible options and what plots of land that I will buy first, what will work more. I do have quite a lot of modded, like, large materials and whatnot. Equipment. No, I'm good, thank you. Okay, so this is where we start. We start then in Elm Creek and we get field 44, 45 and 46. We also start with our little farmhouse here. So it does kind of give us, like that little entrance. I'm going to turn the time all the way down as well. We are in the middle of August. It does give us this own little entrance and stuff here. We've got field 45 in front of us. We have field 44 just down here where my little cursor is. We start with like a little barn thingy, a little silo, another little barn thingy. And then down here, we do have our other field, which is field 46. So we do start with 3 quite small fields that are all in different states of growth or whatever it is that you want to say. For example, field 44 is okay, the field info is changing on the bottom right. It's fluctuating, as you can see that. So what I'm looking at right now is field 46, and it's not 0.71 acres. That is in front of me here, and it has been cultivated or whatever it is, if you want to say. I don't think it's been plowed. It looks like it's been cultivated. Then behind us here on field 45, we do have then wheat that's on it ready to harvest. It is our largest field at 0.88 of an acre. And it's basically saying that, you know, the potential harvest quantity and, you know, whatever, and what my yield could be, my yield bonus, whether it's fertilized, blah, blah, blah. Then we do have a little, we'll go through all of our pieces of equipment and stuff and what it started. We do have like this little barn and stuff here. Usually, I believe that's for like straw and hay and bales or whatever, but I'm not 100% sure of how the fuck you're actually meant to get the fucking things in there. So I think maybe for today, for episode 1, I will keep this intact. I usually actually sell it and like put something here myself, or just keep this as like a very large turning circle because I usually do get quite large equipment and whatnot. Then we have our storage silo over here. There is nothing in it, but we will be keeping our stuff in it for now, simply because obviously things sell better at certain times of the year, so it's better to hold on to it. Then we have like a little garage kind of thing, but you can't actually like repair vehicles or do anything in here. It is more so for show, I believe. So this is also usually something that I end up selling as well, and then I either, you know, put something else down here myself. Ugh! I fell down. Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm stuck. Oh no. Oh god, that was bad. And I think I'm going to keep the little farmhouse and stuff, you know, just for niceties, but maybe we could get a better farmhouse in the future. I have actually no idea what the fuck that even is meant to be, like sprinklers or something. So now let us go into looking at the general map here. So we kind of are in like this little central area, but as you can see, there's like little clusters and stuff, you know, down here, a little cluster, you know, down here, a cluster like up here of like little places and stuff that you could like, you know, start a farm or create a new farm. The likes of up here, I usually do loads of like mowing and baling contracts up there, but it's up like a real fucking big annoying hill. So if you do have like massive big equipment, you don't have like header trailers or, you know, whatever to like to bring them up and stuff, it can be quite problematic. Yeah, so we're kind of starting in here. We're nice and close to the shop. You know, we're close to obviously getting petrol and whatnot, repairing our vehicles and such. And then obviously we've got access to the train and loads of selling points as well. So probably more than likely what I will do is just start like branching out, you know, like from here, you know, outwards, or maybe I'll start you know, buying from, ooh, okay, so this is like a whole piece of farmland. Right, so in farmland 32, I will be getting field 1, 2, and 3, which is pretty decent. I'm going to assume these are more kind of like there's going to be silo, farmhouse, you know, a barn, you know, that kind of thing. Then we also then have 58. So farmland 58 gives us 4, 5, 6, and 7. So if we're kind of focusing more on, you know, like crops and stuff, this could be, you know, pretty decent. You know, or what I could do is, you know, I could work towards 32 and use this big plonk of land, depending on if it's on a hill or something, you know, for animals or production places that maybe aren't on the map, although I can buy the ones that are on the map. You know, like the grain mill and things like that and stuff. And, you know, I could place, you know, things here or whatever, whether it's animals or other productions, even a warehouse or something, depending on obviously the shape. But I assume that's going to be on a really big fucking hill, and that will be an absolute nightmare. And then, you know, use just field 1, 2, and 3 or whatever to feed said animals or something. We will see. I do believe the field is 70, 68. Yeah, I mean, field 10 is quite big. So 10, 32, 68, 69, 70, 71 really look to be like the most massive fields. Obviously, I've got little bubby fields. So maybe we'll just start, in and around here. If I end up buying anything today, maybe I'll just focus on equipment and stuff today. And I'll kind of go from there. Obviously, we have our little crop calendar in terms of in the green section. So for wheat, it's September and October of when you can actually plant them. And then for wheat, you can only harvest it in July and August. So that's all stuff then to pay attention to. If I were going down the crop only route, I would make sure that I have a wheat field, then a barley field, then a canola field, then an oat field, and then buy all the equipment that I need and stuff, like a corn head or whatever for sunflowers, and then potatoes and sugar beet machines and all that other types of stuff. And I would kind of go through everything from there. Obviously, this is kind of like our little prices, and in the storage silo, it will show us how many liters per 1,000 liter or whatever that we have kind of sitting there. And then obviously at certain times of the year, like so, wheat sells the best in January, so does barley, so does oat, but canola sells better in December. Sorghum is January, grapes are May, olives are June, it looks like sunflowers are March, soybeans are July, and then corn goes back to January, March, July. Yeah, so these are all things obviously you need to pay attention to. Pay attention to and whatnot. Then these are kind of the lists of all the vehicles and equipment that we actually currently own. We don't have any loans out or anything like that. We do have, currently 100k sitting in the bank. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to increase the rewards. This is a mod, by the way. I'm going to increase the rewards for contracts. I'm going to make borrowing. I'm going to put that as low as possible so that I can get as much of the crop for myself. Yeah. Going to activate lazy farmers so they do less for themselves. So basically nobody is going to harvest, plow, cultivate, or weed themselves. We're not going to have higher difficulty. I'm going to keep the field discount off. It basically means that if a random farmer is giving you contracts to do, like let's say field 10 is large field, it's going to be expensive, farmland's going to be pricey, yada yada yada. Essentially, if I turn this on and I do loads of contracts on field 10, the more contracts I do for the farmland owner, the cheaper the farmland will be over time, which I really don't want to do. So even now, we've got oat, wheat, and another oat contract to do. So I could go do the 2 oat ones and get a couple of quid from that. They're my general overall stats. I'm going to keep that all the same. I'm going to keep traffic on for now, but when I get big equipment, I might take it off. Snow is fine. Crop destruction is going to be off. Periodic plowing is going to be on. Fieldstone is going to be on. Lime is going to be off. Weeds are on. Slow dirt. Can't remember if this is the one that I think. I think this has to be off. And I'm gonna turn all this off because I hate them fucking buying shit. We're gonna save that. Alrighty, so let's then explore our little harvester here. So it is quite small, doesn't hold much, and the harvester header is also quite small, but it's absolutely fine and perfect for what we are doing because we have tiny little fields essentially. Then we also have a little, I think this is a John Deere. Are you a John Deere? Yes. We have a John Deere here with a little weight on the front, which I never use. So I'll probably sell it right away. And then this is a little cultivator, or yeah, this is a little cultivator then for our other field. essentially it's just really giving us straight away, you know, like, oh, like, here's a way for you to harvest something straight away, learn how to do that properly. Here's how you cultivate and maybe prepare a field, but there's different ways you can prepare fields. I prefer plowing, picking up the field stone, sowing directly into the ground, rolling it. Then the seeder that I usually have does the first round of fertilization. And then after it's rolled, I wait for the growth stage. I weed, I fertilize again, and then I harvest and do it again. You don't actually have to plow every time because it's periodic plowing. But the yield goes down over time as the longer you wait, you need to plow. But I like to get the field stone and turn it into concrete. That is something that, like, I would aim to do, but, you know, it's not something I'm going to do now. And then they also have us lined up here with another tractor, which I actually don't really need. So I'll probably sell one of them tractors. And I will keep whatever one has the most horsepower, to be honest. I'll get rid of both of these weights. And then it's given us a little seeder as well, which also doesn't need to be, you know, overly massive or anything like that, to go ahead and plant straight away. And then it's given us a third, also not needed, probably will, why can I, oh, it's because it's not attached, okay. I was going to say, like, I need the grain doors at the back. No, I'd rather tip at the back. I like to have the cover off, just. And then it's given us a little pickup truck to get around in. And I think I'll keep it just for shits and giggles. Okay, so I need to have that on because I don't like that, you know, it's like you have to come to like a full standstill. So I'll change that, and then I will look at the horsepowers for the different, where is it? It's all the way at the bottom, is it? No. Yeah, there we go. I'll look at the horsepower for the different vehicles that I have. I guess I need to do that in the shop, to be honest. There we go. So I have 3 medium tractors, 2 John Deere and a Massey Ferguson. Okay, so 190, 175, 170. So I'll probably keep this one. Doesn't go as fast, but it is what it is. I'm going to sell these. So now I already have 258k. And I'm also going to go and sell these weights as well. Now, one thing I really need to keep on top of is the fact that generally, tractor-wise, what one is it that I usually get? Is it a Valtra? I think it might be the Q series. Or did I ever manage to get? Because I always make sure my tractor can be purple. So I think I end up going into mediums. Yeah, so this can be color changed, but maximum horsepower is 260. I need about fucking 300-400. It's only 230. $230. That's disgusting. $200. Definitely don't think. I think it's. Ooh, it might be this. This seems familiar. Might be the McCormick. Or the Valtra. $305. Might be the Valtra, but the McCormick can give me a little bit more power. It can give me 310. Talking big boy money, though. I'm not gonna... I do want the GPS, which is gonna be an extra 15k. Then if I were to... Wait, how do I... Okay, there we go. Whee! Oh, shit. Okay, let me actually just click this because... Fuck that. I have no idea what that means. I'm gonna call this purple. That's my purple. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's definitely the one I used for 2022. Should I maybe make it a little brighter? Just a smidge. So I could get this like right now and then have no other money. We're gonna go for Maiden 97. Boop. Oh, you dummy. I think I was gonna do back only. There we go. All good. Look at you. Beautiful. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna buy this right now. And I have no money left. So, we still have this John Deere, right? So what I'm gonna do is, because that's 190 horsepower and this is 310, I'm gonna go ahead and sell that and I'm gonna get some of my money back. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive this home. Oh, it's so pretty. They drive on the right hand side, right? Correct, Amondos? I believe so. You can already see my wee farm, which is good. But it's pretty. I love her. I mean, at some point I probably will need to get a large tractor that I simply don't like. Because the equipment that I'm going to buy to attach it to and stuff is going to be so large. And if that's the case, that's the case. You know, it is what it is. Fine. I also do really like the noise that it makes. Hi, dude! I'm gonna pull in here. I really hope I'm driving on the correct side of the road. I do believe this is based off America, so I do think I'm meant to be driving on the right. I think I got it good. I'm gonna see if I can just tuck it on in here. Yeah, I've definitely got the right settings on now, which is fine. Don't fall in the gap. There we go. But the very first thing I'm going to do is straight away get to doing my harvesting. And I do have it coming out, so maybe I can bare minimum lease a forage wagon. The only thing is, if I lease a forage wagon and pick up this straw, it's probably not going to give me enough money that compared to the leasing cost. So let's say the leasing cost is 2k. You know, I might only get like 1.5 from selling the straw. But I could probably like lease it, you know, store the straw. No, because then I have to keep the forage wagon. That doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess I could bale it. Or maybe just get rid of the idea of doing that now. But I mean, I've got 88 grand, so... Oh, no! I should be able to do something. I will just take a couple of minutes to get the rest of this all harvested. I'll empty it into the silo straight away rather than like hooking up the tractor to the wagon and the trailer or whatever, and, you know, go back and forth and all that there. So I will see yous when I'm done. Alrighty, so we're really only getting 4,000 litres from our little wheat field, and I'm a little bit of a weirdo, as most of y'all know if you've like literally watched me play anything. I like to have a little system. So usually what I like to do generally is have like different crops on different fields, just so I'm not flooding the market. So like I've got 3 fields, so I should have 3 different crops, you know, is kind of the way I see it. If you flood the market and you're kind of only selling one type of crop constantly, then you will drive the price down. Most people who have played Farming Simulator know that, but for those who maybe don't watch Farming Simulator and don't know that, don't do that. If you ever end up playing it, don't go do that. Don't be that person. I'm just gonna like slot that in there. Let me have a little look-see-poo. Okay, so we've got a mower. That could be handy. I can maybe do some grass, but I don't really want to pay 21k just for the mower part, when then I have to go do other shit. Because then I have something to pick up with and how to sell it and blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. So, do I want to get a forage wagon? No, because if I do end up doing grass, I'll need a baler anyway, so it's better for me to invest right now, even in a little shitty baler. I mean, 22 grand. The only issue with that is then I need a bale loader. So you can do round bales, 125 to 180, but you don't do round bales. Huh. Uh-huh. So it would have to be this one. 125. You can do that, so that would be 50. That's too much money. So what I will do for now is I can lease this just to, well, how much is it to lease? 1,555 to lease. How much is straw selling for at Uno Momento? $99. So, like, it's worst. It's really then, like I said, not actually worth the money. Could sell my cultivator to get a plow. We should have a big, yeah, there's our big boy plow mod. 320 horsepower. What am I running again? 310? I think I can just about do it. I think I've used this before. 310. It can just about happen. But I think I'm going to stick to the cultivator for now. At least for a year. Do like my first crops or, you know, whatever. This is going to need cultivated then, I believe. And then I think I'll put wheat on this one. So I'll get this all cultivated. And then what I'll do is I will grab the cedar. I think, what, next month? Yeah, so then wheat will go on this next month. And I should then get field 44 cultivated as well. 45, my bad, I'm doing 44. I should be able to get them both cultivated and kind of prepared for... Oh, I missed a bit. Oh, I could get a stone picker, but is there anywhere to sell stones on this map? That's a question. The debris crusher. It's no fluctuation, it's just always... I can't sell there. So there's actually nowhere to sell stones, so I would need, in order to do that, I would need to then buy like my own concrete factory. So what I'm going to do is actually turn fieldstone off. And I'm going to keep it like that. So I already have a couple of little missions to do in terms of I want to get a big girl plow, which is money. Then obviously, like, you know, like my baler and my bale loader is probably more important than a big girl plow. I can cultivate for now. That's a little bit more of a lower priority, getting my big girl plow, because I don't have a big girl field. And generally, I already have a cultivator. I don't really actually know why I'm like lowering it and lifting it all the time. Generally, I want to increase my money's worth per harvest. So being able to keep the straw, sell the straw, is a lot more important than getting a larger piece of equipment that's essentially not a waste of money. I'm missing bits. Ow. I mean, I could put my steering assistant on and not be a plum. But I've forgotten how it works. How does it work? Do I hold in B? No, it's like control something to fucking turn it on. Let me see. Is it control S? Control shift S? Control Alt S. Damn it! What is it? Alt C. Okay. I got it. Yes. Uh-oh. Confusing myself. Am I doing A to B or what? It doesn't look like it because some of the fucking lines are gone. It's been so long since I did this. I have no idea. I don't think that worked either. How did I get my fucking lines up, man? I do think we used to do it this way. Enable. On. Auto width. Okay, there we go. There we go. I got there in the end. Okay. No. How do I do it for it to just auto set? No. I should not have to do that every line though. I don't remember it being that complicated. I'm definitely doing this wrong. Definitely doing this wrong. Because now I'm manually steering. I just can't remember what the... Nope. That's the fucking AI again. Whatever. I'm just gonna do it myself. I'm getting angry. Anywho. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix all my nasty mistakes. I'm gonna do this fucking nice and neatly. I'm gonna then cultivate field 45 and not be a silly lady. And then yeah, so if 44, this one that I'm doing, is gonna be wheat, then I'm gonna do barley on feed 45. Barley also gets planted around the same time, I think. Yep. But canola can be planted now. So feed 46 is then gonna have canola on it. And that's what I'm gonna do. Let me fix these little bits. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go disappear. I'm gonna fix these little bits. I'm gonna go disappear. I'm gonna cultivate field 45. And then I will come back when I am then going to do the sowing, the planting, seeding, whatever you want to call it, the canola-ing on field 46. And I will be right back. Alrighty. So this one is going to be canola. And probably is going to end up being our biggest income, simply because canola gets really low yield, but usually, you get a lot more bang for your buck and you get a lot more money, per 1,000 liters. So let's say, for instance, it's 900 quid or whatever per 1,000 liters of wheat. Canola might be something like 1,500 or something like that. That is me just, making up random numbers, but that's what I'm saying. The only thing with wheat is you usually get a lot more yield. So sometimes, depending on obviously the size of your field and your fertilization process and, things like that, that really just depends. You could end up making a lot more money from wheat simply because of yield amount. Or you could end up being able to have, a cheaper, smaller field that is then a lot easier to manage, and you're pumping out, large quantities of money for low quantities of canola is kind of what I meant to say. So that's really sort of, I would say, the initial plan is really deciding where I want the farm to go. I want to own the whole entire map. That will be the end of the series, essentially, is when I then own the entirety of the map. How we get there is completely up to you guys. Do we focus on crops and don't even make any productions? Does wheat stay as wheat? Doesn't ever go to flour, or anything. It doesn't go to the grain mill. I don't make bread. I don't make clothes. I don't make planks. I don't do any of that type of stuff. Do we just keep it plain and simple and just work crops? Do we go down the production route and everything is like, oh, the next stage this, next stage this, next stage that, and we get into the nitty gritties of obviously what is more profitable? For example, different types of grain can be all made into flour. Now, that could be wheat, that could be barley, that could be oat, or I think something else as well. But depending on the crop, depending on that grain, how much flour you get depends. So this is where it's kind of like, oh, it might not be that very good value for money wise to make wheat into flour, because you only get X amount of bags of flour per X 1,000 liters of wheat, etc., etc. So maybe it's actually better to keep wheat as something else for something else, and barley is now going to be the thing that always gets made into flour. So that's also something we could go down the route of getting into the nitty gritties of working all out, calculating, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, if anyone has ever watched me before, maths is not my strong suit, but I do like to have systems and structures and goals to work towards. So it would be a very, very good thing if you could just leave a comment and let me know if you think processes and production and getting all into the nitty gritties of that is something that we could do as a community. Obviously, bitch gonna need quite a lot of fucking help because I can't do maths to save my life. Or we can just go down to the animal route, but the issue then with the animal route is the exact same thing as kind of going down the production route, is then I have to use a lot of brain power. So it would kind of be like, okay, are horses really that profitable? Because this is actually how much I would need to feed them. So this is how much acres of fields that I would need. They're feeding, they're bedding, they're watering. And then obviously with horses, you have to train them. And then you can like breed them or sell them or whatever. Moose, on the other hand, you can go into milk. I think there is a production for cheese. I think you can then just go down, not, having like dairy cows, but then go down the route of, just having beef cows. Beefy moose. Moo beef. Then obviously, you have the likes of pigs, which are basically only good for the meat trade, which is something that I would kind of be quite reluctant to do, but it is something that I've never done before, and it's something that I would kind of be like, okay, maybe I'll consider it if that's something that you guys would want to push for. Because I've only done moose and chickens, and I think I did sheep for like wool in that vaguely before on either 22 or 19. I want to say. And that I just kind of stopped at. I didn't end up making it into clothes or anything. I just kind of stopped at making I think it was just wool, or I just sold the wool for what it was. I can't even remember because it was so long ago, but it was definitely during COVID times. So I think it was going to then have to be FS19 at that time. But anywho, I'm fucking rambling. But yeah, so I think where I'll leave it is, you know, like we've harvested our wheat. I have rejigged like my vehicles and whatnot. I need to decide if I'm going to keep that barn in the middle or if we should get rid of it. And the same thing with the little garage that has my pickup truck in it. If you guys can also let me know if you think that I should keep that for whatever reason, and if there's a good purpose that I can use them for, and I'm maybe just being a dum-dum and I'm not seeing that right now, or if they should just get sold and made room for something else. If I'm making room for something else, what should them other things be? So many questions, so much pressure on you guys letting me know. But obviously, if no one lets me know, I'll kind of just make shit up as I go along into the next episode and things like that. Usually in my recorded YouTube series, I do record 3-4 episodes at a time in a chunk and then kind of, you know, like release them. But I think for the farm, because there's so many different options and ways that this could possibly go, I think I'm kind of best just recording one episode at a time and then getting your feedback. I'm going from there with decisions of where the farm's direction's going to go after the fact. So we've harvested our wheat. Our wheat is now sitting in the silo for storage in January to sell in January at its highest profit. We'll take the profit from that and the 88, nearly 89,000 quid that we have as well. Missed a little bit, just gonna go over that because that'll fucking annoy me, even though it's really not the end of the world. And I can see another couple of little bitties. Boop. I'm probably like wasting more seeds than, you know, is helpful, but whatever. Every little helps, isn't that right, Tesco's? Anywho, so now we do have 2 empty fields that are going to be in the next episode being used for 44 being wheat, 45 being barley. Maybe I actually do need to get a little fertilizer and a roller and things like that as well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with kind of what I've already got achieved. I've kind of got, you know, just a little bit of fiddling done and the bare bones of what this little farm could turn into or should turn into, maybe. So let me know about any buildings that I should sell, what I should replace them with if I am selling them, what our farm should primarily focus on, and then we will go from there in episode 2. And on that note, folks, have an amazing rest of your day. Bye-bye.